My days as a stay-at-home mom were packed, but somehow I still found dozens of tiny chances to scroll. Maybe while breastfeeding, playing Duplos with my toddler, walking up the stairs behind my slow little baby, right? Waiting for the microwave. Basically, anytime my hands were free. What I can now see was an addiction, right? And now I'm addicted to being off my phone. And I really just want to tell you what happened to my motherhood when I stopped scrolling. And I feel like it's so important to recognize and just be honest with ourselves, really why we are scrolling. I wasn't lazy. I wasn't bored. I wasn't even necessarily neglecting my responsibilities, right? I was overwhelmed. I was overstimulated. I was emotionally drained. There were times I felt lonely, right? Scrolling felt like this little bit of relief from the grind, right? We are grinding, we are working hard, we are feeling all alone sometimes, and it's not this evil thing to do. I mean, it's easy to demonize screens in general, but scrolling especially, and it's important to really acknowledge where we're at and why we're doing it, and that it's okay. It's an okay thing to do in small doses or at certain times, whatever works for you. And the bottom line is, I just want to share with you what happened when I stopped scrolling. It was a choice. I stopped social media and kind of never looked back. It wasn't a super intentional choice even, but it just is the way it went. And that was like 4 years ago. I've been a stay-at-home mom for 13 years. I have kids 11, 9, and 5 years old, and I was a foster mom before that. And somewhere along the way, I just picked up scrolling, right? Like I would just scroll here and there, and really it was costing me so much more than I realized at the time. I had a lot less patience with my kids. I really saw my kids as a massive interruption, right? I was snappy after I would scroll. I was a little more agitated. I just was less patient with them. I was also definitely less present, of course. I always tried to be really good about not having my phone out while they were around. But even that, like I really slipped into this bad habit where I would pull it out at random times, thinking that I deserved it, right? I needed a break or that it was fine. And the bottom line was it was definitely taking my full presence away from them and onto my phone. The irritability, I remember as clear as day. And the thing that it took me a really long time, like well after the fact, to realize it was the comparison. The comparison ultimately for me is what just destroyed the way I felt about myself. It destroyed my confidence. It destroyed my contentment with my life, because there's always new, better things. There's always this other person that's doing so much more than me, or doing it better than me, or has a much more beautiful kitchen or whatever. And it really took away the satisfaction that could be mine, right? With my own personal life. I was really becoming kind of more numb to the little pleasures that we have in life. Dopamine is a big hot topic word, and that probably sums it up, right? You're always looking for that dopamine hit. And so the normal things that can usually give us dopamine stop because it's not as rewarding. It's not as satisfying. And so ultimately I had so much less joy in my motherhood. And my connection with God was something that it took even longer probably for me to realize what a toll it took on that, because I was so disconnected from who I was as a person and who God made me to be and the calling that he gave me. And so what really, for me, if you're curious, like why does she not do social media? For me, I was in a big crossroads of my life. My marriage was falling apart, and I was, absolutely maxed out. Like burnout doesn't begin to describe where I was at. I had zero bandwidth for anything that wasn't absolutely essential. And I think in those times we still can kind of numb out with our phone, but for me, it was kind of this form of a wake-up call of like, I need every extra minute of my time going into this thing, which for me was learning about things that I had never learned about before, logistically figuring out how things were going to go, because my whole life was taking this whole different turn, and I was suddenly faced with like, oh my goodness, I'm not going to homeschool anymore. How am I going to do this? We need to sell our house. We are doing this, right? And so I didn't even feel like I had the time to scroll anymore. And so without anything super conscious, I just kind of stopped. Pinterest was my thing. I would always kind of, in my spare time, I would look at Pinterest. And as I went down that path, and for me it was kind of going down the path of divorce and figuring all that out, I had a lot of these realizations, of course, that I'm, realizing a lot of things about my life and really reflecting back on all the things. And so one of the many realizations was this awareness around the scrolling, how big of a part it had become in my life, the impact it was having on my motherhood. And really what I learned was the comparison was destroying any ounce of confidence that I had. And confidence was in short supply at that point in my life. And how empowering it was to start getting that back and to pinpoint that part of that was the lack of scrolling. I wasn't constantly beating myself up, and I wasn't constantly putting all these new ideas, new recipes, new decorating ideas, new parenting techniques. I wasn't taking all that in, which for me subconsciously would always translate to I should do that. I should try that recipe. I should do this system. I should try this parenting thing. So it was like one more thing on my to-do list, right? And one more way that I was coming up short because I wasn't doing this certain thing. The other realization I had was that scrolling was not restful for me. We need rest as moms. We need downtime as moms. And I was absolutely squandering that all those years by kind of thinking that that was rest when really it wasn't. It was a journey, and life coaching really helped me. Prayer really helped me figure out what actually does really truly refuel me, what recharges me for the rest of the day, right? At quiet time, okay, what can I use that time for? Kind of kid free, my kids do quiet time. What can I really do there that actually gives me energy and helps me through the rest of my day? Or at the end of the day, what can really recharge me for the next day and help me wake up feeling refreshed and energized and ready to kind of conquer everything that I need to do? Another realization for me was my attention and what a huge gift it is, and honestly responsibility. Stewardship was something I was really interested in and getting more and more familiar with. I've been a Christian my whole life, and yet stewardship has always felt a little vague to me, and it was really eye-opening to recognize I had not been stewarding my time well. That was just the way it was. I realized I had been, all those minutes gone to scrolling were minutes that were gone, and I wasn't using well, and I wasn't being a good steward over my time. It doesn't mean being productive, like, oh, I should have been cleaning, or even I should have been, down with my kids. Like, we can't do all of those things all day, but even just things that are actually fulfilling, actually building me up, actually bringing me closer to God, right? Like peace, the peace that we're all wanting, doesn't actually come from escape. It comes from aligning what we're doing with who we really are as a person and what really interests us, and letting our homemaking be kind of like an outward display of that. Whereas before I was kind of trying to erase myself. Like I wanted to do it more like her. I wanted my house to look more like her house. I wanted to copy what they were doing because surely it was better. But for me, it was tapping into myself. Like, who really am I? What do I want my house to look like? What do I want my house to feel like? This is the kitchen I actually have. And how can I find contentment with that? Or these are the kids I actually have, right? So let me just say, you do not need to quit social media in order to change your life or change your motherhood. You just need a new relationship with it. You need to figure out and kind of put it in its place how you want to use it. And so for me, what I did, instead of just kind of like constantly scrolling, I will just kind of tell you some basics. So I have a place where my phone lives, you could say. It's very rarely like on my person, and that is my nightstand. I would love to say that I'm like this awesome person that has this special box that like blocks the whatever rays or something, or it has the home completely away from me. It doesn't, okay? It's on my nightstand. My cord is right there, so I plug it in at night, and that's just where it lives, and that way I'm less tempted, right? If it's not actually on us, it's a lot more of a hassle to go get it, obviously. You might think I never scroll. I don't do social media. I don't know, is Pinterest social media? If it is, then I do occasionally do that. The only times I'm on there, it's probably maybe once a month, and I'll go on there for a specific thing. Like maybe I'm wanting a new recipe, but basically never. But maybe it's like I don't know, I'm wanting an idea for something, or every once in a while I will do like a genuine, like I want to enjoy myself, I want to look at some new fashion things, or like I got some birthday money and I'm wanting to spend it on the kitchen. What could I do to brighten it up? I don't know, I'm just throwing that out there. But there are times that I scroll, but I have learned and kind of trained my mind how to scroll in such a way that I don't feel so bad about myself. And maybe I'm the only one, share in the comments, but the lack of self-confidence, and that's why I don't do Instagram. I still just can't seem to manage to feel good after I use Instagram. I've rarely given it a shot. So if you love it, tell me why you love it. But the point is, I don't do it like when I want to escape or just when I have a spare minute. It's an intentional choice, and I have replaced those things with noticing the present moment. And that sounds maybe so weird to you, but genuinely, I have had to learn how to be present and in the moment. I've learned how to enjoy the little things. I'm living my dream. I have always dreamed of being a stay-at-home mom. Every time they would ask me what I wanted to be when I grew up, I would say a stay-at-home mom. I got a degree in human development to prepare me for it. Like, it has been my life, and I wanted it so badly. And for so many years, I wasn't living that dream. I didn't feel like it was the dream. It felt so hard. It felt so overwhelming. But the choice to stop scrolling was part of the change that led to a calmer home, happier kids, a more confident and more joyful me, right? More present me really feeling like I'm actually living my life again. So I want to encourage you to just take a quick inventory on yourself. If it is absolutely having the same effect on you as it was on me, and you don't feel good about yourself, you feel like a bad mom, you feel like you're never doing it good enough, or you always leave it with 10 more to-dos, it just might be time to question that, right? You're overstimulated, you're tired, you have every reason to need something, right? To need some relief. But you can take your life back by recognizing there's a way to actually do that in such a fulfilling, happy way. I have a quiz that can help be your very first step if you're wanting something new to do, to really kind of start tapping into yourself as a person. What's your personality? How does that show up in your home? When do you feel most at peace in your home? The quiz will help you. It's like 60 seconds, and it will start giving you a little sense of direction and bring a ton of awareness to that fact that you are a daughter of God. He loves you. He made you in a certain way. He's so happy with your choice to be a homemaker, to be a stay-at-home mom. He knows you love your kids and that you're doing your best. And the more you can believe that, the confidence will fuel you to really embrace and live whatever your dream life is. And I would love to hear about what that looks like for you. Don't mother like me. It's not about what I'm doing or what she's doing or that other lady over there. Just mother like you.